We're going to start out with two worship songs. You've got them in front of you. Pretty nice right there. So yeah, we'll start with worship and then get started.
Hey guys. Thanks for coming. This is so awesome to see everybody here. I'm just going to read out of Psalm 66, the first few verses, just as a kind of call to worship for us. It says, "Shout for joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of His name. Make His praise glorious. Say to God, how awesome are your deeds. So great is your power that your enemies cringe before you. All the earth bows down to you. They sing praise to you. They sing praises of your name. Come and see what God has done. His awesome deeds." So, it's just an invitation for us all to come together and just invite Him in to really work in this space. Yeah, so y'all can stand, y'all can sit, whatever's comfortable. We'll sing together. Nothing worth more that could ever come close. Nothing can compare.
Thank y'all for coming again. So I get to introduce our speaker tonight, Olivia. Olivia was an AOPI here at UT, so she was in the Greek system. Woo, represent. And she was also a Knoxville Fellow. So, and you may know her as Live Well Daily, living your best life every day. She's on your thing. Go follow her, Instagram. But I know her as my small group leader and dearest friend, and so thankful to share this vision of tonight with her. So, happy to introduce Olivia.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me okay? Okay, great. Yes, so my name is Olivia. For those that I have not met yet, hello. If you do not know me, you may know me as Live Well Daily. I do have this small space on Instagram I like to call my new home, where I do truly believe we have the ability to live our best life every single day. And I do believe it starts centered around the table. So being a food scientist, being a nutritionist, of course I'm a nut about healthy food, but I do believe food has the power to not only nourish our bodies, but heal our bodies. And I believe the people sitting around our table have the ability to shape who we become. And I believe the conversations that we have, may they be centered in Christ, can fuel our bodies like nothing else in this world. Yes, Live Well Daily is a small space, but our God gives really, really big dreams. And I'm in a season of life where I am trying to be obedient, and I'm trying to say yes without fear of the future, which can be a really, really hard thing. And you may ask, okay, that's cool, but why is this girl here? You know, she's not tied to a ministry. She's not tied to her school. I don't understand. Well, I'm here because I'm doing just that. I'm here because I truly am trying to be obedient to God. And I'm trying to love the people that He places directly in my path. And y'all are it. The Lord is like, I have placed these people in front of you, and these are the people that I want you to go and love on. So in Isaiah 61:1, it reads, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted and to proclaim that captives be released and prisoners be freed." Brothers, sisters, you may ask, why am I here? This is exactly it. Will you pray with me? Father God, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being faithful. God, and just thank you for this opportunity. This is such a big deal that we get to gather here tonight and worship you. So Father, I just invite you here. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Father, open up the eyes to see you. Open up our hearts to hear you, to know you. Father, may your words echo through my lips. God, this is your message, not mine. I am simply your vessel, and I give you full authority to my mouth. And it's in your name we pray. Amen. So we're going to begin looking at 2 Samuel 13, chapter 13. So we're going to be talking about King David and his children. So if you grew up in church culture, you may know who David is. A little backstory of David. You know, the little shepherd boy was called by God to go and kill this giant. And he was like, I'm a shepherd, I don't have much. I got a slingshot and 2 pebbles. He's like, hey, that's great, I'm going to use you. And see, God works like that. He uses people that feel not equipped. And David was successful. And he's a man after God's own heart. So fast forward, David is now king, and he now has 3 children. And so we're not going to be talking about David. We're specifically going to be talking about Tamar and Amnon. Beginning in verse 1, it says, "Now David's son Absalom had a beautiful sister named Tamar. And Amnon, her half-brother, fell desperately in love with her. Amnon became so obsessed with Tamar that he became ill. You see, she was a virgin, and Amnon thought he could never have her. But Amnon had a very crafty friend. Words are hard, so let's call him Joe. Now, Joe comes up to Amnon. He's like, dude, what's wrong? Why do you look so gloomy? I mean, you're a prince after all. Why do you look so sad? And Amnon tells him, he's like, I am in love with Absalom's sister. Well, Joe said, I'll tell you exactly what to do. Go back to bed and pretend you are ill. And when your father comes to see you, ask him to let Tamar come and prepare food for you. Tell him you'll feel better if she prepares it as you watch, and prepares it with her own 2 hands. So Amnon lay down and pretended to be sick. When the king came to see him, Amnon asked him, please let my sister Tamar come and cook my favorite dish as I watch. Then I can eat it from her own hands. So David agreed and sent Tamar to Amnon's house to prepare some food for him. And when Tamar arrived to Amnon's house, she went to the place where he was lying down, so he could watch her mix the dough. Then she baked his favorite dish for him, but when she set it before him, he refused to eat it. Everyone get out of here, he yelled. Servants, everybody left. Now bring the food into my bed and feed me here, he told Tamar. So Tamar took his favorite dish, went into the room to feed him, and then he grabbed her and demanded, now come to bed with me, my darling sister. No, brother, she cried, don't be foolish. Such things are not done here in Israel, and where would I go in my shame? And you would be called one of the greatest fools of Israel. Please just speak to the king, and he will let you marry me. But Amnon wouldn't listen to her, and since he was stronger than she was, he raped her. Then suddenly Amnon's love turned to hate, and he hated her even more than he loved her. Get out of here, he snarled. No, Tamar cried, please. Sending me away now is worse than what you've already done to me. But Amnon wouldn't listen. He shouted for his servants and demanded, throw this woman out and lock the door behind her. So the servants did what Amnon said. They threw her out, they locked the door. She was wearing a long, beautiful robe, as was the custom for the king's virgin daughter in those days. But now Tamar tore her robe, put ashes on her head, and then with her face in her hands, she went away crying. I want to take a moment to sit in Tamar's brokenness. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the shame that she must have felt and how dirty and misused. And I want you guys to hear me when I say this is not another Me Too movement. I'm not standing up here giving you a talk about rape. We hear enough about that on our news. We hear enough about that happen in our campus, to our friends, maybe our family. But what I'm saying is that this isn't just a story that happened in a book. This is a story that happens every day. You see, it happened then, and it's happening now. And I believe this story applies to all of us. It applies to you, and it applies to me. So I want to back up a little bit. So about 2 weeks ago, I was visiting a church with 2 friends, and the pastor was talking about King David and the pain and the suffering, emotional pain, physical pain that he was in. He was in a desert place, if you will. He had gotten word of his children, and he was truly brokenhearted. And the pastor touched on this story. But he did just that, he just touched on it. And then after he was done talking about the rape of Tamar, after he was done talking about Amnon's crazy roller coaster ride that he's on, he looked up and he said, you know, now that was a very bad day. And I sat there and I was like, that's it? We're not even going to talk about it? You see, because it's more than just a bad day. This is someone's life. Both of them. And I sat there and my heart was heavy and I had chills from head to toe and I was like, why? Why aren't we talking about this? Because you see, if we don't talk about the brokenness, then we miss out on the healing. If we don't acknowledge our shame, if we don't acknowledge our suffering, then we miss out on who Jesus is and how he loves us. And I'm not discrediting this pastor at all. He was there to talk about David. This is a hard talk to give. And I truly believe he is well equipped to serve a church and to share the gospel and to lead them well. But at some point, we got to talk about it. At some point, we got to talk about our pain. We have to talk about our suffering. We can't just pat each other on the back and be like, all right, well, we'll try better next time. Tomorrow's a new day. It's going to be okay. We have to be a generation that is ready to seek change, ready to acknowledge the brokenness that each of us possess, or we as a generation will never see God's healing or experience his grace. Because you see, when you've been locked out and you've just experienced something that hurt you, that's when Jesus comes in and he picks you up and he wipes the dirt from your face and he says, here you are, as he holds your face in his hands. He said, I see you, I love you, and you're beautiful. Robert F. Kennedy wrote a quote, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. I feel like it applies to us, applies to recruitment season. It says, let no one be discouraged by the belief that there is nothing one man or one woman can do to stand against the enormous array of the world's ills. Against misery and ignorance, injustice and violence, few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. And in the written the history of this generation, it is from numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man or a woman stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he or she sends a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. You see, I think this is a story that all of us can relate to. Because we're either one of two characters or probably both at some point in our lives. You see, Abnon was chasing after earthly desires to fill what was missing in him. So if you remember, he was like, okay, well, if I'm sad. Okay, well, if I just have sex with this girl, then I will be happy. But he has sex and he didn't do it. So if you continue to read, you'll find out, he's like, okay, if I just have more power, if I just have more authority, then I will be happy. Y'all, the power comes, the authority comes, and he still is not happy. And then he says, okay, if I just become king, if I'm king, then I will be happy. Guys, the king was David. The king was his dad. At what point does this stop? At what point do we stop chasing after our earthly desires, knowing that they can never fill us? I was in a sorority. I'm human. I know what it's like. I have to fight my flesh every single day, not to chase my desires and put him as my desire. But I can tell you that there's no amount of drugs that you can take. I can tell you there's no amount of alcohol that you can drink. I can tell you there's no amount of sex that you can have, likes on an Instagram post, dates that you can go out on, date parties, whatever it might be, that will leave you feeling full. Rather, it will leave you feeling empty and hungry for more. And you'll find yourself chasing and running after something that you will be so far gone that by the time you get up, you won't even know where you are or who you've become. And for my Tamars out there, maybe you are a victim of physical or sexual abuse. Maybe you are a victim of a broken family. Maybe your parents got a divorce when you were little, or your mom or your dad walked out on you. Maybe you're a victim of a toxic relationship that you know that you have no business being in, but you're too afraid to let go and you're too shameful to expose. Maybe you're a victim of prejudice racism in this world based on the color of your skin or the country that you're from. But whatever it is, God sees you, He knows you, and He loves you. And it's in that moment when the door is slammed on your face and locked behind you, or when that person walks out on you, or when that person exposes something deep within you, that Jesus comes in, wipes the dirt from your face, holds your head, and says, there you are, my daughter, my son. I love you, and I know you. See, the Lord sees, and He desperately wants to come in. But the question I have to ask is, are you going to allow Him to do just that? Are we going to allow Him to fill us so we stop chasing after the things that we know are not going to fill us? Or we allow Him to come in and take our shame, allow Him to heal us so our hearts aren't burdened by that. He's like, you will always remember. He tells me, Olivia, my daughter, you will always remember. You will have a scar, but your wound will no longer be exposed. And your heart will no longer be burdened with shame. And I want you guys to hear me, men out there. I'm not saying all fraternity men are rapists, and women, sisters, hear me. I'm not saying all sorority girls are victims of rape. But what I am saying, brothers and sisters together, that we are all victims of a broken reality. Whether we're looking for something to fill us, or we're carrying something that we're not meant to carry, are we going to stop chasing? And are we going to allow Him to come in and restore? You see, recruitment begins tomorrow, and I'm so excited for y'all. Recruitment can be a really fun time. You get new fraternity brothers, new sorority sisters. It can also be a really stressful time, especially for my people of exec level. It can also be a really catty time. People bashing each other, bashing your friends that are in different chapters of you. I remember. But guys, what I'm saying is that we have to address these questions before these guys and these girls walk into our houses. Because these students are younger than you, and they are looking to you to fill a void that is missing deep within them. And they are looking to you to take their shame. They are looking to you to be their God. You know it, and I know it. That the letters that we wear, those special letters that we wear, and the letters that we give will never possess the power to restore and heal and fill like God can. So in Isaiah 61, 2-3, He says, for He has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of God's anger against their enemies. To all who mourn, He will give a crown of beauty for ashes. And then in verse 10 it says, I'm overwhelmed with joy in the Lord my God, for He dressed me with the clothing of salvation and draped me in the robe of righteousness. That torn robe and that dirt. You see, even being a son and a daughter of an earthly king, they still fell short. They cannot outrun sin in this world, and neither can we. And my question is, are you going to allow Him to come in, hold you, wipe away the dirt, crown you in beauty, and restore you in righteousness, and say, my daughter, my son, I love you, and I know you. allow me to fill you. Will you guys pray with me? Father, I just want to pray. I want to pray over the people that are present here tonight and the people that were not present here tonight. Father, I just lay a hand on these brothers and sisters. God, I love them so dearly. I love the Greek system. I believe in the sisterhood. I believe in the brotherhood. But God, bring us back to that. Bring us back to the joy of the sisterhood, the joy of the brotherhood. Allow us, God, to quit chasing after things that will no longer fill us. But God, as much as I love them, you love them even more. And you know them and their story. So God, I just ask that you lay a hand on each member that is here. And that when they start recruiting tomorrow, that they remember their identity is found in you and you alone, God, and not in the letters that they wear, not in their house, not in their sisters, not in their brothers, but in only you, God. I pray if anything that I said was not of you, God, I ask that you take it away from their hearts, take it away from their minds, and let it be gone right now. Father, for this is your message. This is you. We love you, God, and we praise you, and we invite you here. Be present with us. Be present with these girls and these boys tomorrow as they start out the beginning of a new year. As we start out the beginning of a new generation. This year is going to be a different year for the Greek system here in UT. Loving people instead of bashing, celebrating. God, we love you and we praise you. In your name.